Okay, so the two ways that I'm going to show you about how to come up with a balanced compound when you have two atoms are the dot method and the crisscross method. The dot method, if we're going to try and combine magnesium and iodine, folks should be pretty familiar with, so I'm not going to review that in detail. But basically, magnesium loses its two valence electrons to a pair of iodine atoms. And that way, it has a happy 8 underneath these two, and iodine has a happy 8 outer shell. So the balanced compound for this is magnesium with two iodines next to it. So now I'm going to show you how to do this a slightly different way. Some of you may find it easier, some of you may find it harder, but if you can get this, it's definitely faster. However, the crisscross method only works, I'd say, about 90% of the time. That's not a bad hit rate. Okay. Get motion sick watching this video. Okay. So what you do is you start off, number one, you write the charge of each ion. So if you have magnesium, you know that it is in the second family and therefore wants to lose its two valence electrons. And if you lose two valence electrons, you have a charge of positive 2 because you have two extra protons. If you are iodine and you're in the 17th family, you want to gain an extra valence electron, and that would give you a charge of -1. Step 2, you cross the charges. What I mean by that is you take magnesium and iodine and you take those two numbers from the top and you literally cross them like this. Step 3, you write the final compound, which in this case would be Mg, and the 1 goes down there, and it's invisible over here, so I'm not going to write that, and I, move the 2 there. Notice that this answer is exactly the same as the answer you came up with earlier. There is a step 4, which is going to, this is why it's a slightly less efficient way at times. If you need to simplify, sometimes you need to simplify it. So for example, if you have beryllium and oxygen. Beryllium is in the second family, so it loses 2 electrons and will have a charge of positive 2. Oxygen is in the 16th family. It wants to gain 2 electrons, so it would have a charge of -2. If you cross these, you would get Be2O2. When you have this situation, what you can actually, where you have the same number there, you can actually just simplify, like you would if it were a fraction, and to BeO. Okay, so this step should be simplify. So what we're going to do today is try both and see what % of the time you need to simplify. You need to do it a little bit more than you would think.